Today's episode is a little different. While we typically feature business leaders, entrepreneurs, and marketing professionals, today we're sitting down with the future of the industry. I'm joined by GOAT Social Media Summer 2026 interns for a conversation about social media, AI, content creation, and what Gen Z thinks marketers should be paying attention to right now. As social media continues to evolve, Gen Z isn't just consuming content. They're shaping trends, influencing purchasing decisions, testing new technologies, and entering the workforce with a completely different perspective than previous generations. Whether you're a marketer, business owner, student, or creator, I think you'll walk away with a better understanding of the next generation of consumers and professionals. So let's meet the interns. I'm going to have each of you introduce yourself, tell us your name, your school, your major, and where you're from.
I'm Haley. I'm from South Florida. I'm going into my third year at the University of Florida. I'm majoring in advertising and minoring in public relations.
Yeah, go Gators.
Yep.
Next up.
My name is Melissa Azarito. I'm a film and media student at Columbia University. I'm going into my sophomore year, and I'm originally from South Florida, too.
Yeah, so it's nice that you guys are both home for the summer and with us in the Fort Lauderdale office. It's a change from school, and then you'll be back to it in the fall. So what made you interested in marketing and social media?
At school, I got the opportunity to run a hairstylist in Gainesville's Instagram account, and I instantly just fell in love with it. I wasn't loving any advertising or PR, so I was kind of nervous until I started doing that for her. And I just knew that I wanted to do social media.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think a lot of times the program, especially in undergrad, they don't really push the specifics. A lot of times they just push the principles of advertising and top level. So it's nice to kind of get to work in a niche and find what you like already.
Yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah, throughout high school, I did a lot of social media work for the clubs that I was involved with. So I found that it was really fun to explore that niche, but I never went too in depth into the social media world.
Yeah.
So this summer I was really excited to find GOAT and work with you guys so that I could learn more about the social media industry.
Yeah, so that leads me to the next question. So how did each of you find out about GOAT social media?
Mine is kind of a two-part story.
Yeah.
But first I was looking up just online social media marketing in Fort Lauderdale because I live here. And I saw GOAT and maybe a few other places, but I didn't know what to do with that, how to apply. And then I just happened to be talking to someone at my sorority elections, and she was like, yeah, I did this social media marketing internship in Fort Lauderdale. And when she said GOAT, I was like, wait, I remember that name. I saw that. I was like, can you please ask the owner, is there any way I can apply or interview? Are they doing an internship? So that's how I found it.
Yeah, it was great.
I found out about GOAT through my drama teacher, who was also Cassie's drama teacher in high school.
Yes, not too long ago.
And I did social media work with the drama club in high school. So she asked me what I was doing this summer, and she suggested I reach out to Cassie, and I did.
And that's so funny because I think a lot of people don't realize, when I tell people, when I started doing social media, I was I actually started doing it in high school because with the drama club, the title at the time was called webmaster.
It still is.
They still call that title.
Yes.
It's hysterical.
I wasn't the webmaster. I was the historian. So I did the photography for the social media.
Yeah. So at the time, I feel that title is basically social media manager or it could update from it could probably get updated. But at the time it was webmaster, and all I was really in charge of was mostly the website, which was a basic WordPress website. And then social media started to come about. And I remember begging to have a Facebook page for the drama club. And then when Instagram came out, we were dabbling with it. But even Instagram wasn't that big of a deal for the drama club yet. So wild. So what were your expectations coming into the internship?
I really just wanted to learn what agency life is like. I also wanted to see how to manage client accounts, communicate with clients, and just what the logistics are to running a social media account for someone.
I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what GOAT was gonna be like, but I figured that I would be making posts for different brands, and that is part of it. Definitely not all of it, but it was fun to learn and to kind of come in blind and discover.
Yeah, so now that you guys are almost a month in, what's the biggest surprise of the internship so far?
I think, honestly, how much work goes behind the scenes. I didn't think it was just so detail-oriented and just there's so much behind the scenes that I feel people don't know. I think
so true.
Everyone just thinks it's just posting on Instagram and like logging on and making a post. And that's just not like what it is at all. There's so much strategy and just like decision making behind everything.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was also surprised by that and how a lot of the content that brands are putting out there isn't always made by them. Sometimes it's like made by our team, and we find photos and graphics that we're able to put together that would fit into their brand. But I was surprised. I guess I just kind of assumed that they were all taking pictures all the times. But if that's not their brand, then it makes sense that we would be creating the content.
Right. Yeah. Especially in a lot of those like health and finance industries, you know, you're not going to put pictures of patients or people who are having like bank accounts and mortgages. So it's like finding some good stock and trying to go, you know, be creative still, but also do what's allowed in the industry. So I think that is a challenge. But I also feel like if you can do that, then you can work with clients and brands who do have content and do have great stuff. So kind of transitioning into the Gen Z of it all, what social media platforms do you personally use the most?
I definitely use TikTok the most. And now I used to use Snapchat a lot, but honestly, not as much anymore.
Yeah.
I only use it to like talk to friends, not to post on it, just to like communicate.
Yeah, my top is definitely Instagram. I've been on and off TikTok. I'm on it right now. And I love Pinterest. I feel like I discover so much stuff through Pinterest. I'm always scrolling on there.
We've had a few guests say that they really love Pinterest. And I think that you either like love it and you use it, or you're like, oh, I never open it. So it's nice to see that some people are still using it. Pinterest also is one of the most heavily regulated social media platforms. I think people don't realize that. So you can't have like weight loss ads, and you can't have a lot of like medications, and it's mostly like body positivity, and they regulate and will take off any hate speech. So it's a pretty safe platform to be on. So I think as people are like, oh, I hate social media because of a lot of those things, it's like, well, you could still enjoy it on Pinterest or still find things you like or get inspired by and still be able to share things with people on that platform. So how do you discover new brands, products, or businesses?
A lot of the time through social media, through like Instagram or TikTok ads and like people posting what they're using.
Yeah, same. Also TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. I find a lot of especially clothes and makeup on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I feel like when I see stuff popping up all the time online in different places, it feels like there's kind of already a testimonial that it's good and that, or at least it's worth trying and talking about. So,
which is so funny because I feel like growing up in my generation, which is not much older, but there is a gap in that sense of like we found out about a lot of new things on TV. So we would have said TV. And then we had like QVC and a lot of these like shopping channels, or like even still Good Morning America and the Today Show, they'll feature like new brands because a lot of people are still like ingrained with learning things about like on TV. And then we also had a lot more commercials to buy stuff. And it would be like 1-800-BUY NOW, call to order. And it would be like $4.95 shipping and whatever fee, call to order, you'll get something free. So I feel like a lot of that has transitioned to now, and there's even some places like in Walmart and even like CVS where they'll have like sections of like as seen on TV, and like a lot of like older people will find their like items that they want to buy there who still rely on that. But now we're starting to see more of like as seen on TikTok or as viral.
If you go to
a celebrity post it,
they have a whole book talk section.
They
of
do.
Books that have been featured on TikTok.
So it's kind of funny because it's kind of the same, when you think about it, it's the same marketing pattern. It's just a different way of where it's being shown and positioned. So what makes you stop and engage on social media, especially because your generation kind of really grew up on it? What's going to actually make you stop?
A lot of the times when something's like really out of touch, I just like can't watch it. Like I like when something's like relatable, authentic, and like just engaging. But when it's really out of touch, it's just like hard to watch.
Yeah, I pay a bit of attention to it. I think it may be subconscious, but the quality of the video, if it's super, super grainy, not well lit, if the audio is muffly, then I'm just going to scroll immediately because I don't want to waste my time on it. And I'll stay if the video looks solid, and especially if the video is visually appealing, aesthetic, or whatever. I'll want to stay and watch it, even if there's no real content there, but someone's stirring their matcha. If it's pretty, I'm gonna play.
Yeah, aesthetics, yes.
Yeah.
It's funny because you said the word authentic, and I feel like we use that word every episode of this podcast. It comes up. Every guest brings up authenticity. And then with quality, it's like the other day I was scrolling on TikTok, and with TikTok, everyone's doing like phone videos, and which is fine. But this one girl kind of broke the mold. And instead of having a vertical video, she had a horizontal video. And she shot it obviously on a camera. And it was very edited beautifully, almost like a Euphoria episode of season 1. And it was like the colors were beautiful. There was a story, there was music. She was talking over it. It was dramatic. I mean, I had to like and repost it just for the quality alone. And everyone was like, wow, like I sat through this whole thing and I wasn't distracted, or like you pulled me in, or like this is what videos should be. So I think people forget to be creative and artistic.
Yeah.
And it will be rewarded if you do take those chances.
Yeah, I love to find it, even if it's vertical or horizontal, but like a short film on Instagram or TikTok, I always end up watching the whole thing because usually there's just a level of visual appeal. Yeah.
So a lot of brands do try to reach out to the Gen Z generation because they know that they are kind of going to shape the future of marketing. What do you think a lot of these brands are getting wrong when trying to reach your generation?
That question's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. But maybe like if they tried to like dive too much into like Gen Z and use slang. And like terms that just Gen Z doesn't use.
Yeah.
I feel like that maybe.
Yeah, it's easy to know what they're doing right, but it's kind of hard to know what puts you off and sometimes until you see it. But I agree, if it feels like forced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the opposite end, if it's too corporate-y, like there's kind of a sweet spot where it can't be too casual, like you're not my best friend, but it can't be too corporate-y either. There has to be some, I guess, something that makes it approachable.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it feel, like we say, authentic and real and not so pushy and salesy.
Yeah.
So we're going to shift a little bit to about AI. So how often are you using AI's tools today?
Probably every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a few times a week.
And which ones are you guys using?
Like ChatGPT.
Yeah, I've used chat, and when you search anything up on Google, you get the little AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too long ago, I was searching like GOAT social media, like through the Google AI, because I like to see what pulls up. Because a lot of times, not too long ago, we had a potential client call, and they were like, I was like, how did you find us? You know, usually it's referrals, you know, or people who know. And they were like, oh, like Claude said that you were the top social media agency. And I was like, oh, thanks, Claude. But they're pulling all this content, even the podcast. And Google like literally gave me a crazy description of the agency, of like the services we offer, like crazy good, crazy detailed, and services we don't offer, and like it knew. And then I went even deeper and I was like, okay, so tell me about Cassie Myler. Because I was like, what is Google saying about me, right? Because I think everyone should Google themselves, especially as the two of you are going to enter the job market. You want to control what is being put out there. And if you think you're not being searched, you're going to be searched. Like everyone is searchable. And it was funny because it pulled all of my like articles, podcast episodes, and then it was like not much is known about her personal life. And I was like, wonderful, this is great.
That's great, yeah.
But that's kind of, you know, where you want to be in that sweet spot of like putting out what you want. And we were talking a little bit before even about LinkedIn. And it's one of those things of like, if you're not putting content out there, it is also a statement. And that means whatever is out there about you will probably pull out first. So you really want to make sure that you're putting, you know, your story out there first. And I have a lot of clients who they hire us just to do their company, as you guys know. And then there's some that we kind of push to have the founder out there or to push the people behind it, because I'm like, you're just as part of that brand, and people will look up who runs this account. Like the makeup company that we have, we do a lot with our founder for him because he's fabulous. So why wouldn't we show him?
People want people. Like they want to like, buy from people.
And AI is pulling all of that. And I think AI also trusts when there's a story or people behind it, because if it's like a fake company that like it's like an AI shell of a company, then you can't, and there's a real company and real founder, you can't fake that. What are you learning in school that aligns with the real world?
I'm definitely learning the importance of deadlines, like making your schedule, creating like your assignments, doing everything on time. And in my advertising and public relations classes, so far I've seen like branding and different stuff with social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like the time management. I've been taking a lot of gen ed classes, but honestly, networking and forming relationships with all of the people in my classes, they're all very interesting, talented people in different ways. So it's fun to have a collection of friends that I can potentially pull from in the future.
Yeah, and that's important to know because I think a lot of times, especially in this digital world, like the art of just like yapping sometimes is gone. People are more comfortable to like only talk to their friends or be in their phones if they're uncomfortable in new situations. And it's like, no, you have to talk to everyone because you never know in the future if you'll be working together or if that person might say, oh, so-and-so is hiring and you'd be great for this role. Or like you were talking about like internships and someone recommended. But if you didn't talk about internships, you would have never like known or like got connected. So I always say it's great to talk. You know, there are a lot of times I just meet people, a lot of these like conferences or even in this office, and it's not necessarily like, oh, that's a future client or like, what can I get from them? It's not about that. It's more about like, what are you up to? What are you working on? And then sometimes there's room for opportunities to collaborate. And that's just going to make a stronger connection than when you're trying to find something for someone and you're online and you're Googling versus when you're like, oh no, I know so-and-so who could do XYZ.
Yeah.
So what excites you most about entering the industry after college?
I'm just excited to like be creative and help brands connect with their audience because every brand is so different.
Yes.
So you have to be able to like connect each brand with their audience, which is like something I'm learning a lot here. I'm excited to do that and connect with other people.
I like it.
Yeah, same. Being creative, I think that it can be such a fun job if you make it fun. You get to come up with all sorts of cool ideas for these different brands, or if you're working for one brand, then that one brand. But it's a job where you can sort of play around.
Yeah, that leads me to ask you both, now that you kind of had, about a month of agency experience, are you liking the agency or do you think you would lean more towards like working for one brand?
I like the agency. I don't know how much I would like one brand because you're just like sitting with that all day.
Yeah.
I like being able to do like different work. And I think that's how, especially with an internship, you gain the most experience doing like so many different accounts.
So true.
Yes, I agree that you get a lot of different brands to explore with the agency. I think that if I were to stick with one brand versus do multiple with an agency, it would depend on what the brand is.
Right.
Like if it's something very corporate-y, I don't think that I would like that so much because I feel like it would get sterile after a while of doing the same thing. But then I would prefer an agency because then I have all sorts of different creative paths. But if I'm working in a brand that has more, it's more artsy or there is more room to play with the social media, then I would be fine with doing one brand.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that like sometimes it's like the non-sexy brands are the ones that pay.
Yeah.
Right. So like a lot of times like everyone wants to work for like a fun company and whatnot, but like sometimes it's those corporate-y ones that do have the bigger budget for marketing.
Yeah.
So I feel like the agency kind of gives you the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But like there was one time when I was in the middle of starting my agency and I was like, maybe I want to work for a company full time. So I think I was probably going through it and being like, I'm over it. Clients are bothering me. This is really hard. Like as starting any business, it's not glamorous. And I was interviewing with like a mattress company. And I remember like even my parents were like, we don't see you working like 50 hours a week on a mattress company. They were like, maybe rethink that strategy. And it was true because it's like, how creative could I get? I probably would have been like stifled. But then you have some people who find the comfort in that where they're like, okay, I just have to nail my one and I don't have to be too creative, but I can really be within my bounds. It's almost like some people would rather color like within the lines versus some people want a blank sheet of paper. Yeah. So it's finding that in between. But I think the fact that you guys are starting with agency experience as your internship experience, you can do anything from there. Like this is kind of the hardest, I think, like the deadlines, the quick turnaround, shifting from client to client and jumping from like feedback to email to Slack message. If you could handle this, you could probably do a lot of things. So we close out every episode with a few quick questions. The first one we kind of already covered when we asked what's your favorite current social media platform. So we're going to jump to the next one, and it's what's one social media trend that you wish would just disappear?
I feel like Instagram Instants.
Oh, that's
I
a good one.
personally don't find a lot of value in them. So for me, I could do without them.
I was actually really excited for it when I heard about it coming. I was like, oh, this is going to be very cool. And then the way they just like clunked it into the DMs and the separate
Actually,
app.
I thought of one. On Instagram, when you can like put your thoughts and people just put a song. Like that's not like doing anything.
Oh, see, now I
don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I love a song.
But like, what is the point of it? Is it just to like tell people what song you're like liking and like
So I
listening
think a
to?
mix. Like I think a lot of times I'll do it of like, wow, this is like an earworm. I love this song. I listened to it like 5 times today. I'm gonna put it on my story. And I have friends be like, yes, or I put like older songs.
funny.
And they've been like, and a lot of my maybe it's a millennial thing, or like a throwback, and my friends are like, oh, I haven't heard that song in 10 years. I love it. Or I'll find what they're listening to. But I think some people use it as like a subtweet. Like calling out people with the song.
I've seen that with like
dramatic.
when there's a breakup, someone's posting like a
then
really
they
sad
post the sad
But also
songs.
like when the Olivia Rodrigo album came out a couple weeks ago,
everyone was just putting
posting.
it.
But to me, it was like, oh, you're posting your favorite song. Like everyone's listening to this album. Which one is the one that speaks to you the most? And I found that interesting.
Yes.
So it's just like I don't know, a random little thing.
No, I love it. I think too, people can add context. So like if people say like, oh, I'm obsessed with this song, and then it's that, then you kind of know, versus
think
no
some
context. It could be like, you're not sure.
Some people also just put like thoughts and it's not a complete thought. So then I don't know like what they're trying to get with it.
Well, I feel like
So I
some
don't get
people are
it.
just trying to like get attention and start conversations.
Yeah.
But
People
that's
want
okay.
attention on social media. What? Like, so we have some clients that are like event focused. So what I like to do for those like little bubbles is we'll put the hours of the event that day.
That's
Which is nice. So like if the event is only from 10 to 8, then it's 10 to 8 today, 10 to 6 tomorrow. It's a good reminder. People saw it. They're not going to ask me 1,000 times. For our podcast, I'll put the reminder of like new episode out. But I try not to abuse those, because if I'm doing it every day for a client or for ourselves, then it's like, oh, another one. But when you do it every now and then, it's a nice little call out. So I think depends on how people use them.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like I see the importance of certain things, but when it's overused and just like doesn't make sense, I don't like it.
It's the OG like status message on AIM. We used to do that all the time. We had our instant message, and then we would be like out swimming with my friend, be back, or like we put song quotes. It's literally like they're copying the old trends, but I think I can get behind that one more than Instance. I feel like Instance, they tried to jump on like a Snapchat kind
like
of deal.
Be real is what it
Yes, it's just I don't think it's gonna stay.
No.
So thank you guys for joining me today and sharing your perspectives. It's always fascinating to hear how the next generation thinks about marketing, technology, and communication.